Hey guys, Prem here. Last week, the US sent a letter to Israel urging it to improve the humanitarian situation in Gaza and to follow international law. The US gave Israel a 30-day deadline and floated implications for US policy, but as we've asked US officials, they've sometimes been evasive as to what exactly it might mean if Israel doesn't comply. I thought it might be helpful to give you guys a quick sense of how things have gone in the 12 days since then. Since the US sent this letter, the Israeli military has targeted a kid and then bombed him and the people who were trying to help him as he pleaded for help in the streets, banned 6 aid organizations from Gaza, repeatedly bombed a refugee camp, attacked and besieged the remaining hospitals in northern Gaza, and detained doctors working in them. And they also bombed an oxygen station at one of these hospitals, killing kids in the ICU, killed 4 engineers fixing water systems, killed 3 journalists in Lebanon, rounded up people, separated them from their families, and tied up and blindfolded them, bombed an UNRWA shelter, killed a 59-year-old woman as she harvested olives on her land in the West Bank, repeatedly attacked United Nations peacekeepers in Lebanon, and all the while, top Israeli ministers spoke at a conference called, quote, Preparing to Settle Gaza, where they talked about controlling Gaza for years. Civil defense and rescue workers, meanwhile, stopped operating in northern Gaza, saying Israeli forces abducted several of their workers and bombed their only fire truck. Our Palestinian press colleague Hossam Shabat reports that in fact no aid has entered the besieged area of northern Gaza. And speaking of, the Israeli government publicly accused 6 journalists, including Hossam, of being terrorists, essentially tweeting out a hit list after the Israeli military has already killed at least 128 of our press colleagues since last year, making it the deadliest period for journalists since such tracking began. It seems almost like the Israeli government has responded to US requests to follow international law by committing violations of international law.